Most historical records of the 13th century are written in blood, buried beneath the dust of fallen empires, and deliberately lost to time. But one military achievement remains so impossible, modern historians simply refuse to comment. It concerns a figure whose rise was not just unlikely, it was biologically impossible. Imagine a prince born into a world where only the physically elite survived daily. Now imagine that same prince, unable to stand, discarded by his own royal bloodline. For 7 years, he was a ghost in the palace, a forgotten mistake. They said his legs were a curse, but his mind was already mapping empires. Then, he did something that forced the entire Sahel to hold its collective breath. He didn't just stand. He utilized custom engineering to break the definition of endurance. This is the record of Sundiata Keita, the man history remembers as the Lion. The year was 1217, in the small, struggling kingdom known as Kangaba. A hunter prophesied that a disabled child would become Africa's greatest strategic ruler. But as the prince grew, his legs remained useless, tethered to the dust. The royal court whispered that the prophecy was a lie or a biological curse. His father's other wives mocked his mother, calling her son a broken king. When the king died, the throne went to a brother who feared nothing. They dismissed Sundiata as a harmless cripple, destined for a life of obscurity. But pain is a powerful teacher, and Sundiata was a very gifted student. Learning to walk was only the beginning of a transformation that defied nature. His brothers realized that a walking prince was a threat they could not ignore. They didn't just exile a prince, they accidentally released a ghost into the desert. Exile became his forge, and the wilderness became his greatest military training academy. While his brothers celebrated his absence, Sundiata was dismantling the very concept of warfare. He traveled between kingdoms, studying the movements of cavalry and the logic of terrain. He mastered the bow until he could strike a target before it even appeared. Foreign kings began to notice a gravity in him that demanded absolute respect. In the shadows of foreign courts, he was quietly building a geometry of revenge. But a darker shadow was rising, a sorcerer king who turned entire cities into ash. Soumaoro Kanté had conquered Mali, enslaving the people who once mocked the prince. Desperate messengers tracked Sundiata through the desert, begging for a savior's return. He could have watched them burn, but Sundiata understood the weight of destiny. He gathered his allies, turning a group of exiles into a precision strike force. Every kingdom he visited pledged their swords to the man they called Lion. He returned to Mali not as a man, but as a calculated, inevitable disaster. The people saw him and remembered the prophecy they had once casually discarded. Soumaoro Kanté prepared his sorcery, confident that no mortal could breach his defenses. He didn't realize he was facing a mind that had solved the desert itself. The stage was set for the collision of two eras at Plains of Kirina. At Kirina, the atmosphere curdled as the smell of ozone and iron filled air. Soumaoro's sorcery relied on terror, but Sundiata's army moved with cold, mathematical precision. The Sasso drums beat a rhythm of death that Sundiata ignored with terrifying silence. To win, Sundiata had to strike at a vulnerability no soldier could see. The arrow flew with the weight of 7 years of rejection and impossible will. One shot broke the sorcerer's magic, proving that logic always defeats the supernatural. Seeing their god king bleed, the Sasso army collapsed into a state of panic. Sundiata's forces pushed forward, reclaiming the land that was always theirs by right. Soumaoro fled into mountains, disappearing into the obscurity he once promised his rival. The disabled child had officially become the founder of the world's wealthiest empire. The battle was over, but the true empire was built on laws, not blood. He established the Kouroukan Fouga, one of the oldest human rights charters in history. Mali became a sanctuary for scholars, traders, and the world's most talented engineers. He created a wealth so vast it would eventually unbalance the entire global economy. Sundiata's descendants would continue his legacy, ruling a unified West Africa for centuries. His life became an oral epic, stored in a decentralized ledger of human memory. His journey from exiled prince to rightful king was so powerful, Hollywood stole it. Why does the world prioritize a cartoon over this documented record of human genius? But Sundiata's empire is just one piece of a massive, deliberately erased puzzle. What about the 1879 Ugandan master surgeon who flawlessly executed complex procedures while Europe was failing? Or the master builders of the Great Walls of Benin, who engineered a mathematical anomaly 4 times longer than the Great Wall of China? If you are ready for history without the edits, join the throne and dust. Reclaiming the true record starts with a single click. We will see you there.